The top stories tonight in Y News. The Philippines signed the Breakthrough 123 Agreement on nuclear energy cooperation with the United States. House Deputy Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro urges former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte to stop his drama and face the complaint through due process. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or Phivolcs, downgrades the earthquake in Davao Occidental from initially reported magnitude 7.2 to magnitude 6.8. And find out the impact of Vanguard missile system to the perceived nuclear threat posed by Russia and the significance of its public appearance on the nationwide TV channel. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, November 17, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Marvy Delfin. First in the news. During the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, the Philippines and United States signed a landmark deal on nuclear cooperation. This 123 agreement will pave way for the transfer of nuclear technology to the Philippines. Nel Maribuhok reports.
The Philippines signed the Breakthrough 123 Agreement on nuclear energy cooperation with the United States. At the sidelines of the 30th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Leaders Meeting and related activities in San Francisco, California, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said that the 123 Agreement is the first major step in stepping up the bilateral relations between the Philippines and the United States.
The signing of the Philippine-United States Agreement for Cooperation Concerning Peaceful Uses of Nuclear Energy, or the 123 Agreement, is the first major step in this regard, taking our cooperation on capacity building further and actually opening the doors for U.S. companies to invest and participate in nuclear power projects in the country.
Department of Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla signed the 123 Agreement with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The 123 Agreement, or the Peaceful Nuclear Cooperation Agreement, provides the legal basis for allowing American companies to export nuclear fuel, reactors, equipment, and other specialized nuclear materials to the Philippines. According to Blinken, the nuclear deal will support critical energy security and baseload power needs within the Philippines.
As peak energy demands are expected to nearly quadruple in the Philippines by 2040, nuclear power can consistently produce enough energy to meet communities' critical needs without emitting more greenhouse gases. In a nation of more than 7,000 islands, small modular reactors, some just the size of a city bus, can generate energy locally and conveniently.
President Marcos said the agreement would ensure a more energy secure and green Philippines, adding that he was optimistic that nuclear energy would become part of the Philippine energy mix by 2032. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Former Senator Leila de Lima has been declared free to lend her assistance to the International Criminal Court, or ICC, in its upcoming investigation into the drug war. Solicitor General Menardo Guevara clarified that any private individual is permitted to contribute to the inquiry of this international body. It was revealed earlier that the camp of Leila de Lima expressed her willingness to aid in the ICC probe. However, Guevara remains resolute in asserting that the Marcos administration will not cooperate with the International Tribunal if it proceeds with its inquiry into the alleged crimes against humanity stemming from the Duterte administration's war on drugs.
bahala siya kasi private person naman siya, hindi naman siya nagre-represent ng government. Any person, not only Senator De Lima, any private person who wants to assist in the investigation are free. They're free to do so. Nothing prevents a prosecutor. He can conduct his investigation any way he wants. The only problem is huwag siyang mag-expect ng cooperation, direct and actual cooperation from the government because the Republic of the Philippines has maintained its question of jurisdiction.
House Deputy Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro has issued a plea to former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The request is a simple one: to cease the theatrics in responding to the grave threat complaint filed against him. JP Nunez will tell us why.
In a recent television appearance, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte responded to grave threat complaint lodged against him by Deputy Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro. In his characteristic style, the former president quipped that he would simply go to jail as the lawmaker, in his view, oppresses him. Representative Castro, however, has called for a halt to the dramatics, urging Duterte to face the complaint through due process.
Hintayin niya yung proseso ng batas kung siya ay mapapakulong o hindi. So wag niyang pangunahan ang justice system at wag siyang nagdadrama na maipapakulong ba siya agad.
Emphasizing her rights to file complaints, Castro pointed to what she perceives as a clear and evident grave threat pronouncement against her.
Itong pag-oppress, wala tayong kakayahang ganon. Ginamit lang po natin yung ating karapatan na mag-file ng kaso dahil tingin po natin ay ako po ay naagrabyado at pinagbabantaan yung buhay ko.
The Quezon City Prosecutor's Office had released a subpoena to Duterte on November 15, instructing him to file a counter-affidavit as part of the preliminary investigation scheduled for December 4 and December 11. Meanwhile, members of the Makabayan Bloc challenged the former president to personally confront the allegations against him, despite having the authority to send legal counsel to file a counter-affidavit on his behalf. The call is for Duterte to step into the arena himself.
Ako bilang complainant ay naasahan ko na makita natin doon yung respondent at harapin niya yung i-file natin kaso sa kanya at makapag-file din siya nung ano man yung ebidensya ni affidavit niya.
Ang sinasabi niya na agad, he would rather go to jail eh. Well, actually, wala namang pipigil sa kanya. Pero mas gugustuhin natin na humarap siya, no? Kasi napakalinaw ng threats at harassment na binitawan niya laban kay Representative Franz Castro. Kaya dapat maging accountable siya at harapin niya ang kaso laban sa kanya.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or Phivolcs, has advised residents in the affected areas to be cautious of aftershocks following the magnitude 6.8 earthquake that jolted Sarangani, Davao Occidental. Phivolcs Director Teresito Bacolpol says they downgraded the quake from initially reported magnitude 7.2 to magnitude 6.8, which was caused by the movement of Cotabato Trench.
Sa first bulletin namin, it's 10 kilometers. Ngayon, nagiging 72 kilometers. And the deeper the earthquake, the less the energy that would be felt on the surface.
The Phivolcs official assures there is no threat of tsunami following the tremor. For now, Phivolcs is still awaiting for the official report from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council on the effects of the quake. Bacolcol cautions affected residents not to enter damaged structures as strong aftershocks are expected.
Kapag may nakita silang visible damage dun sa bahay nila or sa buildings kung saan sila na mamalagi, they have to, wag muna silang pumasok. They have to consult municipal or city engineers kasi baka hindi ito nasira during the main shock. Kapag merong strong aftershock, mag-collapse.
And for the news abroad, the Russian Defense Ministry broadcasted the loading of their new Avangard missile systems in a launch silo in southern Russia. Jane Robles will tell us why.
Russia unveils its Avangard missile system to the world. The nation's defense ministry broadcast the spectacle on their nationwide TV channel, showcasing a ballistic missile armed with the Avangard being meticulously loaded into a launch silo at the Orenburg facilities in southern Russia. Introduced by President Vladimir Putin in 2018 as a response to perceived United States missile defense efforts, the Avangard stands as one of Russia's 6 nuclear weapons in development. These hypersonic glide vehicles allows for unparalleled maneuverability at high speeds, enabling sharp and constant trajectory changes, rendering interception by current and future defense systems seemingly impossible, according to Putin's claims. As tensions rise, Russia and China emerge as the foremost concerns in nuclear weapon development, as stated by U.S. President Joe Biden. Yet the president remains silent on Russia's latest strides in missile technology. Jane Robles, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Rescue teams on Thursday, 17 November, facing slow progress, intensified their attempts to reach 40 men trapped for the 5th consecutive day at the collapsed Silkyara Tunnel in Uttarakhand, India, by commencing a more advanced drilling. This strategy involves drilling through rocks and soil debris to generate space for a pipe, providing means for trapped men to crawl to safety. The machine has the capacity to drill approximately 2.5 meters of rock per hour and had faced obstructions in the form of rods and cement blocks. On the recent update, it had penetrated around 12 meters of debris over a total distance of approximately 60 meters that is needed to be covered. This 4.5 kilometers tunnel, integral to the Char Dham Highway located in Indian Himalayan state of Uttarakhand, is a major $1.5 billion project of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. Officials have not disclosed the reason for the tunnel to collapse, but the area is susceptible to landslides, earthquakes, and flood. V.K. Singh, the Federal Deputy Minister for Road Transport and Highways, told reporters that electricity, food, and water are being provided for the trapped men and that he is optimistic towards the goal to rescue everyone within 2 to 3 days or even sooner.
In a pronouncement reminiscent of certainty, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, emphatically declares its departure from the venerable vote-counting machines, asserting that despite their enduring accuracy and efficacy, a new era beckons. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, conducted a random manual audit today on some ballots from different clustered precincts in the pilot automated Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE. Chairman George Erwin Garcia said this is to test the accuracy of the vote counting machines, or VCMs, used in the automated elections.
So mano-mano po itong binibilang upang alamin kung tumutugma ang bilang manually ng balota sa mismo na transmit na result at na print na election returns ng mga makina. Diyan po malalaman kung effective, accurate ba yung mga makina na ginagamit natin sa araw ng eleksyon.
But Garcia clarified even if the random manual audit would result to high accuracy or effectivity of the VCMs, they will not be utilizing the machines because it is not safe. They could not afford to risk the credibility of the elections because these machines have already malfunctioned.
Napaka-dangerous po na gamitin sapagkat katulad dito ng haraang eleksyon natin ng BSKE. Alam po natin sa 3 lugar, tulad po ng Dasmariñas at sa Pasong Tamo, nagkaroon na po ng malfunction ang ating pong ilang makina.
Meanwhile, citizens' arms such as Lente said any discrepancy in the random manual audit will be reported to the COMELEC to look for solutions and use an automated election system which is more efficient.
Kung meron mang dapat baguhin at meron kailangang improve sa mga makina, sabi nga po ni Chair, sana po mai-report ito para in preparation for 2025, we are ready and we can make sure na yung tool na gagamitin po natin in automating the elections will be efficient enough and effective enough to capture the will of the electorate public.
Last Monday, the poll body conducted a pre-bid conference for the automated election system in the 2025 midterm elections. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
In weather developments, a low-pressure area has entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR. As of this afternoon, November 17, the Philippine Weather Bureau Pag-asa located the cyclone at a distance of 730 kilometers east of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur. This weather disturbance brings with it a trough that, combined with a shear line, is expected to bring scattered rains over several regions, including Visayas, Bicol region, Northern Mindanao, Caraga, Davao region, and Palawan. Pag-asa has issued a warning to the public, emphasizing the potential for flash floods and landslides in the affected areas. As the low-pressure area progresses, it is anticipated to move closer to Bicol, Eastern Visayas, and Mindanao. Simultaneously, the northeast monsoon exerts its influence over Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon, contributing to the overall weather conditions in the region.
And in other news abroad, the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, have revealed a deep tunnel surrounded by rocks and debris. This tunnel, according to the IDF, is part of the network used by the Hamas militant group and is located near the entrance of Shifa Hospital. The IDF claims to have also discovered a vehicle laden with various types of weapons in the vicinity. Additionally, the IDF alleges that Hamas is using civilian cover, hiding rockets and weapons beneath a young girl's bed.
They know the IDF won't attack, the Air Force won't attack here, so they use the hospital as human shields. We found a vehicle filled with ammunition, RPGs, AK-47s. We see handcuffs, knives. As you can see, they were very well prepared, and where they're hiding all of this equipment is in a hospital, a place that's supposed to be for humanitarian aid.
Meanwhile, communication lines in Gaza have been severed as all energy sources utilized by the telecommunications companies Paltel and Jewel are reportedly lost. This has disabled internet, mobile phone, and landline networks, making it challenging for humanitarian organizations to reach and aid civilians. Israel, on its part, refuses to allow fuel imports, asserting that such supplies could be utilized by Hamas for military purposes. The United States government will launch the Women in the Sustainable Economy, or WISE, initiative during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Summit. United States Vice President Kamala Harris will announce some close to $1 billion pledge from private and public organizations across the globe. LC Marcus will tell us why.
The United States is hosting the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, Summit in San Francisco with the theme Creating a Resilient and Sustainable Future for All. During the event, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will announce the launch of the Women in the Sustainable Economy, or WISE initiative. Around $900 million in pledges from governments, companies, and civil society organizations to strengthen women's economic participation in green sectors such as clean energy, fisheries, recycling, forest management, and environmental conservation. The Biden-Harris administration wants to make sure women are prepared for and part of the industries of the future, not only in the U.S. but globally. The WISE initiative is being headed by the U.S. and is a partnership that brings together governments, private sector companies, foundations, and civil society that aims to bolster economic opportunity for women. WISE will work through three key pillars, first of which is the promotion of well-paying, quality jobs for women in energy, land and water use, and management through skills and training. Secondly, the initiative will support businesses in the energy sector that are owned, led, and managed by women by providing increased access to banking and climate financial services and other networking opportunities. Lastly, WISE initiative wishes to eliminate barriers to women's participation in the blue or maritime economic activities by advancing girls' access to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics or STEM education. Australia, Canada, Ireland, Japan, Mexico, and Norway joined the United States in committing almost $500 million to the initiative. The private sector is represented in the initiative by Amazon, CARE, Citi, Claremondial, Davos International, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, LinkedIn, MasterCard Impact Fund, PepsiCo, Reckitt, EY Foundation, Unilever, and Visa Foundation. The $1 million commitments will drive efforts to help women gain jobs, training, and funding in environmentally friendly or green sectors. According to the White House statement, women's economic opportunities are linked to their ability to control, access, and use land, energy, and water, which in turn enhances food security and agricultural productivity across communities and economies. Elsie Marcos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Chinese President Xi Jinping and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida conducted a face-to-face bilateral meeting during the ongoing Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Summit. The leaders of two of Asia's largest economies engaged in discussions focusing on the establishment of a new dialogue framework to address export control issues and promote a safe business environment. The talks come against a backdrop of strained relations between the two nations in recent years, marked by various issues such as territorial disputes, trade tensions, and the matter of Taiwan. Adding to the complexity, China recently halted the importation of Japanese seafood following Japan's release of treated radioactive water from the Fukushima nuclear power plant into the Pacific Ocean. A flashback to 2008 reveals a joint statement between Japan and China, where both nations agreed to foster a mutually beneficial relationship based on common strategic interests. In addition to his meeting with President Xi, Prime Minister Kishida engaged in discussions with U.S. President Joe Biden and South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol in a trilateral meeting. These discussions are crucial as leaders of the 21-member APEC Forum gather in San Francisco for the 30th APEC Summit, taking place from November 15 to 17. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Maven Carrizo, live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
In a time of escalating tensions in Israel, the government is steadfast in its efforts to repatriate overseas Filipino workers. Today marked the arrival of the 8th batch of repatriated OFWs, with 32 individuals, including one child, landing at Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 3. Among them, 24 are caregivers and 8 are hotel workers. The ongoing conflict between government forces and the Hamas militant group has prompted the evacuation of a total of 264 OFWs from Israel. Presently, 83 OFWs remain in Israel, while 150 are in Lebanon and 4 are in the West Bank awaiting repatriation.
We're keeping the lines of communication going since in terms of yung mga OFWs na pwedeng humingi ng saklolo at gusto makauwi. So 83 sila pa na ipoprocess. And walang necessarily na timeline kasi di pa natin alam mo yun ang matatapos. Mga 3, 4, 5 days ang intervals natin di ba? Between batches. Meron lang isang batch na magkasunod na araw pero merong intervals lang yan. Ongoing lang ito.
The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, has allocated over 80 million pesos for the repatriation efforts from Israel, Lebanon, and the West Bank. As part of the government's commitment to supporting the returning OFWs, financial assistance, livelihood aid, and psychosocial counseling will be provided.
Yes, sa ngayon, meron tayong mga 725 million, laki-laki pa, that I understand can be rolled over to the next fiscal year. But there's still a few weeks ahead of us before 2023. And so, hoping na may magamit pa tayo dun sa pondo na yun, including itong ginagamit natin dito sa Israel. As I mentioned, mga 80 million na inagastos natin sa Israel effort from the DMW side.
In the arena of public service, the Ombudsman Graft Busters and DENR Warriors have managed to maintain a spotless record in the league, emerging victorious in their respective games yesterday. Meanwhile, in a surprising turn of events, the Department of Agriculture Food Masters delivered a formidable offense, stunning the defending champions AFP Cavaliers in a hard-fought battle. JP Nunez has the report.
Communicate, 17 seconds remain. Liz Amparado. Siya nakakuha ng assist. Liz Amparado nakakabalik dito sa Boyan Bautista at MP Postrek AFP. Nasa 50 moves sa may ilalim. Oy! They got a break.
Survival of the fittest until the last second. That's what the Ombudsman Graft Busters and SSS Kabalikat demonstrated in their neck-and-neck battle during the eliminations of UNTV Cup Season 10 at Paco Arena in Manila yesterday. SSS showcased early prowess in their offense with a 3-point advantage at the end of the first quarter, leading 25-22. However, the Ombudsman quickly adjusted in the second quarter, taking a 7-point lead at 41-48. With a collective team effort, the Graft Busters maintained their momentum, closing the third quarter at 59-63. SSS managed to break down the defense of the Ombudsman in the last 3 minutes with a 7-0 run, tying the game at 78 points. SSS even took the lead after a successful end-one play by Maki Escalona with 56.7 seconds left, making it 79-78.
Ladia has not scored. You mentioned it earlier. Labanan Camola, Franco. Sasha stays with them.
However, Yurik Bamba Florino's putback from his floater with 21.4 seconds left allowed the Ombudsman to regain the lead. SSS attempted a comeback, but time ran out for them to overcome the higher and tighter defense of the Graft Busters. The buzzer sounded with the final score at 79-80. The Ombudsman now enjoys high morale due to their impressive start in the eliminations with a 2-0 win-loss record. The best players of the game were Berson Franco with 13 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists, and Aldous Bass with 11 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists.
Another down-the-wire game, at binabati ko ang SSS. Napakahusay na team at alam namin na talagang ganun sila kagaling. Nangyari lang talaga, sa amin bumagsak yung huling puntos. Well, sa matchup, okay tayo ron. Nakita mo naman kung paano. And then, ang key rito, na-control namin yung boards. Na-control namin yung rebound. Ilang possession yung last possession na yun, sa amin talaga yung bola napunta. Well, that's the key. At saka yung nag-step up yung mga ibang players natin.
Same, nung kagaya nung last game namin, rebound pa rin. Offensive rebound, napakadami. Wala kaming legitimate na center, so dapat tulong-tulong kami sa rebound.
Meanwhile, the defending champion AFP Cavaliers seemed stunned by the winning attitude displayed by the Department of Agriculture Food Masters in their match yesterday. DA handed the AFP their first loss with a final score of 79-72. The best players of the game were J. Mark Mariano with 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals, and Elijan de Guzman with 32 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists.
Mas aggressive kami ngayon compare sa last game namin. Pangalawa, medyo maganda execution namin. Andun na yung patience namin umatake ng basket.
Ginawa naman lahat ng team. Although talagang kulang kami sa tao. So nung bandang huli, talagang bumigay na sila kasi pagod na yung rotation kasi namin. Kukunti lang talaga.
The DENR Warriors continue their positive momentum, defeating the Senate Defenders in the main game with a score of 70-54. Alfie Grijaldo led the Warriors with 17 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 steals, while Ed Rivera contributed 13 points, 19 boards, 2 assists, and 4 steals. As of now, the DENR has 2 wins and no losses, while the Senate has an equal number of wins and losses, each with 1.
Hindi madali yung game na ito, ano? Alam namin na gaano kalakas talaga ang Senate as a team. So talagang pinagtrabahuan ng mga players, hands off sa mga players, hindi sila nag-give up. So pasalamat din ako sa mga assistant coaches na talagang umalalay during the game at during the practices.
Learning sa amin, so mako-correct namin sa mga incoming games pa namin, mahaba pa naman to. Mayroon pa kaming 4-5 games pa. Maganda naman talaga nilaro nila, offense and defense.
That season itong Romeo Quezon.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Arkasang Bahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 26, it says, "And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand." And those are the reasons behind the news November 17, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Marvy Delfin, live from Australia. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The signing of the Philippine-United States Agreement for Cooperation Concerning Peaceful Uses of Nuclear Energy, or the 123 Agreement, is the first major step in this regard, taking our cooperation on capacity building further and actually opening the doors for U.S. companies to invest and participate in nuclear power projects in the country.
As peak energy demands are expected to nearly quadruple in the Philippines by 2040, nuclear power can consistently produce enough energy to meet communities' critical needs without emitting more greenhouse gases. In a nation of more than 7,000 islands, small modular reactors, some just the size of a city bus, can generate energy locally and conveniently.
Bahala siya kasi private person naman siya, hindi naman siya nagre-represent ng government. Any person, not only Senator De Lima, any private person who wants to assist in the investigation are free. They're free to do so. Nothing prevents a prosecutor. He can conduct his investigation any way he wants. The only problem is huwag siyang mag-expect ng cooperation, direct and actual cooperation from the government, because the Republic of the Philippines has maintained its question of jurisdiction.
Hintayin niya yung proseso ng batas kung siya ay mapapakulong o hindi. So wag niyang pangunahan ang justice system at wag siyang nagdadrama na maipapakulong ba siya agad. Itong pag-oppress, wala tayong kakayahang ganon. Ginamit lang po natin yung ating karapatan na mag-file ng kaso dahil tingin po natin ay ako po ay naagrabyado at pinagbabantaan yung buhay ko.
Sa first bulletin namin, it's 10 kilometers. Ngayon, nagiging 72 kilometers. And the deeper the earthquake, the less the energy that would be felt on the surface. Kapag may nakita silang visible damage dun sa bahay nila or sa buildings kung saan sila na mamalagi, they have to, muna silang pumasok. They have to consult municipal or city engineers kasi baka hindi ito nasira during the main shock. Kapag merong strong aftershock, mag-collapse.
We're keeping the lines of communication going since in terms of yung mga OFWs na pwedeng humingi ng saklolo at gusto makauwi. So 83 sila pa na ipoprocess. And walang necessarily na timeline kasi di pa natin alam kung matatapos. Mga 3, 4, 5 days ang intervals natin di ba? Between batches. Meron lang isang batch na magkasunod na araw pero merong intervals lang yan. Ongoing lang ito.